64.1% completion percentage, 14 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 6.3 yards per attempt, 6-3 record. Tua or Herbert?
You see that the highest third-year passer rating to anyone belongs to Tua. It's over Hurts and Josh Allen. Yes, ever. So far, his passer rating. And on third down, the last 3 weeks, his passer rating is 158.3, 158.3, 153.4.
Dan, it's not just that. Tua leads the league in QBR. He has more 300-yard, 3-touchdown games than Dan Marino. He's Pro Football Focus's QB #1, ESPN's QBR number 1. He also leads the league in fuck you, haters.
Yeah, attaboy.
He doesn't have more 300-yard game, 3-touchdown games than Dan Marino, but with no interceptions is what he's done. Like, he's had 3 in a row. Yeah.
When he starts a game and finishes a game, they don't lose the game. I mean,
now he's got a complimentary running game.
I know.
That came out of nowhere.
Oof.
He can only do it with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle getting 150 yards a game. No. Not the case. He passed to like 8 people yesterday for like 60 yards each.
So pinpoint is the thing. Like the accuracy is crazy.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. Especially when they get the running game going, which yesterday was really the first time they got it going. But once he has that going, McDaniel can call anything, and it's beautiful. It's fun to watch the Dolphins. Not only are they winning, they're the most entertaining team, I feel like, in the NFL right now.
You know what's crazy? When you think of Tua in college, this is what we thought he was going to be like as a pro.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the middle of the team,
the injuries,
breaking his back.
No, wait a minute. I don't think anyone's allowed to assume that this is what he was
going.
Come on. This is what he was going
to When he came in that national championship game and won it against Georgia.
Yes.
We all saw it right then and there. Like, this guy's going to be a superstar. And then
every week in the SEC was 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's what I was excited about.
That's how Tank for Tua was born.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, there is a reason why he was the most sought-after draft prospect and would have gone #1 no problem before that injury.
Pre-injury, this is what was promised. And he's delivering on that. And I mean, he had really bad injuries. That hip injury was no joke. So for him to recover and be paired with this head coach in this offense, which, again, they finally have the running back. The biggest addition by subtraction ever was just getting Chase Edmonds out of here.
That's crazy.
And now you have Jeff Wilson, who came in a separate deal, and he knows how to explode through these wide-open holes. You read the stat that Chase Edmonds left more yards on the table than any running back.
Than any team in the NFL before he got traded.
And I don't know that we in analysis knew that. I don't know that we knew watching. I knew he was not successful. It's 8 carries for 15 yards. It's like, why can't they run the ball? I thought Mike McDaniel was supposed to bring that here. And
now speak for yourself, man. Chase Edmonds was garbage all season
Mike,
long.
I didn't like have that quantified until he got traded.
Damning.
And then you see these stats that he was expected to average 5 yards a carry and average 3. He's leaving 2 yards per carry on the table.
A couple times where you're screaming at your TV, why are you running that direction?
But at the time, we all thought it was a great signing, right? Like, he's going to work in that offense. Yeah.
I mean, I just assumed any running back would be able to be productive in that offense. So I was like, yeah, Chase Edmonds would probably be a good fantasy player.
And you presume that Mike McDaniel would choose running backs that would perfectly fit his scheme.
Right.
And he's just ended up trading for a couple that he knew in San Francisco that can just do the job. And they've come in and they just do their job. Their job is to adequately execute a zone running scheme, and Wilson has added more on top of that. He's broken some big runs, and he's bowled some people over. But for the most part, the job is to just do what I tell you. Run through the hole. It's going to be there, I promise.
You can nitpick at this by saying, well, the last 3 opponents stink. The previous 2 games before this one were very close games that they could have lost. I'm telling you that even if they had lost them, what I'm enthused by is that all the things you dreamed about with this quarterback and this receiver and these coaches make them so exciting that you're expecting on 3rd and long for them to convert stuff, where you're looking at A.J. Brown and he goes into the game catching 16 yards a pass and the only guy ahead of him is Waddle because of how they extend the field and the way that they're playing along the offensive line where there are no sacks. And this can't be lost because, yeah, the Browns are bad, but Myles Garrett dominates all the time. Like, all the time, I'm terrified that he's going to blindside a quarterback. I guess he wouldn't blindside this one very much because he's left-handed. But Nick Chubb's great, and he had one carry worth anything yesterday. Their front four is going to get pressure if they stay healthy. They were getting pressure 5 against 6, and they were getting pressure 4 against 5.
Well, if they stay healthy is already a problem because
Tua
Ogba's done.
stays healthy.
Oh, okay. But I was, in terms of their pass rush, Ogba was a key piece of that, and he's done.
While the Browns are not good record-wise, they have great running game, and they weren't able to do anything yesterday. And defensively, they were able to keep Waddle and Hill from doing it. They couldn't do anything yesterday. Like, they weren't really factors in the game, and it didn't matter at all.
The degree to which the Dolphins move the ball, and it feels like they only get in their own way. When there's a drive that's stalled because of a fumbled snap. There's a drive where they have a 2nd and 1 and they can't get a yard in 3 plays, and one of them they try to put the tight end under center to run a QB sneak. That it just seems like they are their only impediment to gaining offense. You turn on football on a Sunday and you want the Dolphins game to be on as a neutral.
It's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
First time this century for me.
Yeah. First time in my life.
Makes sense.
First time in my life
the Pennington season? I mean,
no,
forget that
I
one.
mean,
It was a fun
Stugotz,
season.
no,
You guys
no,
forget how fun that season was.
The Wildcat was fun to watch.
It was fun.
Yeah, no, but go look at the numbers on their scoring totals that season. It's not 39 points, which should have been 41. Jason Sanders going to be a problem.
Dude, I said that last week. Keep
you're
an eye
right
on him.
about
That's
that.
in my notes.
No,
keep an eye on him.
Keep an eye on Jason Sanders. Is going to be a problem. I wouldn't be surprised if he got
In your
cut at some
notes.
point.
You
before the end
guys
of
see the
season.
stats on him from 50 yards? From
Yeah,
50
he
yards?
hasn't made one this year.
2 of 9. 2 of 9.
So he's going to be a problem at some point. But until then, let's just enjoy this offense. We've never seen the Dolphins where from the start of the game, I'm like, all right, they're moving it, touchdown, moving it. And every time they step on the field, I expect them to score a touchdown.
Well, that's it. I was going to ask you, are you guys have you arrived at the point where you're surprised when they don't score?
Yes.
Because I have.
Yes, I'm surprised when they don't score. I'm surprised when Tua doesn't convert 3rd downs. I'm surprised when he misses throws. It's astounding how good they are.
Now that they have the running game going, they're going to win more like that than they've been winning previously. I thought the most impressive thing from Mike McDaniel this year was that he was finding new ways to win because a Kyle Shanahan inspired offense does it with that running game that we saw yesterday. When he has a running game cooking like that, it's an absolute delight to watch.
It's 10 yards a carry, and you're like, I can't believe that these openings are everywhere. And to your point on, are they stoppable? Tua is best in the league versus man. And now, because he's so good against man, 33% of his dropbacks are against man, because they've stopped doing it, and it's the lowest since they've been tracking this stuff. So they don't know how to play against him, and when you're just, okay, our guys are going to be better than your guys. No, they're not. They're not going to be, because we're not even going to try it, because we know we're not going to try and man up on Waddle and Hill.
Right.
We can't do it.
Right, even though Tua deserves a lot of credit for that set. You said that set. I'm like, that's a Waddle and Hill set because they're unguardable, because they're these speed demons that you can't put a man on them because they're faster than any mortal man.
Things are starting to become clearer, Dan. 4 games ago, 1,230 yards ago, 10 touchdowns and 0 interceptions ago, Dr. Quack came on, and so did everybody else, and they said Tua should retire. And we thought that this was a safety thing.
Should charge him with murder.
I think that what happened is...
You guys were scared when he ran 7 yards in the next game.
I think what happened here is
I was
people saw
terrified.
what was possible, and they didn't want this in the league.
Yeah.
People were afraid of what
Yeah.
Tua could become.
Conspiracy.
Ben Inamala was trying to protect the league from Tua.
Amin's third eye just opened on
Football Illuminati coming soon.
Coincidentally, since that hit, he's only been sacked twice. 3 of the 4 games have been without a sack. That might be the most startling part of all of it.
But
they kept him clean.
Which is it, though? You're saying kept him clean, but his confidence and precision are such that I believe their offensive line is better than I thought it would be. I also think he's making decisions so quickly that it's Brady. Brady's offensive line often doesn't matter unless the pressure's right up the middle, because he's getting rid of the ball. He's on his 3rd read on within 3 seconds, because because of how open his receivers are getting.
Orlovsky talks all the time about his eyes being among the best in football, the way that he moves, manipulates defense, gets to secondary options. But to Billy's point yesterday,
Look who's joined the party, by the way.
Quarterback.
But to Billy's point, yesterday there was a lot of Sherfield, there was a lot of Alec Ingold, there was using the tight ends in the flat. Like they use the fullback better than any team. I am startled by how good Mike McDaniel has been as coach of the Dolphins and putting Tua in this position. Everything that we talk about surrounding a young quarterback with in order to put him in a position to succeed, they've done it in abundance. And now with a running game, Wilson 7 yards a carry, Mostert 8 yards a carry. I don't even know what to do. They have a bye, then they're home with the Texans.
You don't want them to
They're
have a
going to
bye.
be 8-3.
You don't want them to have a bye.
Can they put somebody else on the schedule?
Get a scrimmage going.
Yeah.
I mean, they might lose. They play the Texans out of the bye, and then you go into the difficult stretch in December.
another
But
bye.
I can't wait to watch this team every week.